Greetings. We are the Arcturians. We come to you in love and appreciation for your continued efforts to bring more light into a world that seems to be so lacking of it. You are doing a fine job in spite of the struggles that many of you have faced in your own lives. It is easy to feel a sense of despair when you look out at a world that seems to be falling apart from its own weight and density. Always remember that you chose to be on Earth during these intense times of change. Otherwise you would not be here. You knew before you came what was going to be taking place and were deemed strong enough to hold the light in spite of it. You could have chosen to observe Earth's evolution in comfort from the other side. You were evolved and knew that your higher resonating consciousness would serve to add light to the Earth's collective consciousness, a collective filled with error through mankind's dominant belief in two powers and separation from God, people, and all other life forms. Only through the increasing presence of oneness and the true nature life will the collective consciousness on Earth be lifted beyond its present density, which is the work you came to do. Cease waiting for an event or looking to evolve beings, special ceremonies, prayers, mantras, or anything outside of yourselves to do this work. We are not saying that you cannot participate in ceremonies or prayers, but we are saying that in and of themselves they have no power other than what you give them and are meant to be tools guiding within. Yes, some words and ceremonies do carry energy endowed through years of belief, but the reality is that God alone is power, never given to some special word or action. Collective consciousness is the world consciousness of Earth, which for eons has been fed only false concepts based in separation. The collective evolves as mankind evolves. As more and more awaken and begin feeding this collective consciousness with truth, it automatically dissolves and replaces the false. Because it is a collective, each new insight, awareness, and integration of truth adds more light to it, making these truths available to everyone. When light becomes dominant in the collective, it will reach a tipping point at which the balance of true and false, light and dark, will shift. The human mind draws from the collective for information, which is why looking to the human mind for deeper answers, higher solutions, and creative ideas is fruitless, for these things do not exist in the human mind. Deeper truths and creative ideas can only be accessed from within, where they have always existed unconditioned by false concepts and beliefs, just awaiting recognition. The world is awakening. Each day more begin to question, seek answers, and look for better and higher ways of living. At first they seek from the only place they presently know, which is the human mind. But because increasingly more truth is being added to collective consciousness, these individuals will have access to it, and many will begin their journey of awakening. The chaos and struggle that you are seeing in the world at this time represents the dissolution of old energies that have been alive and well established in human consciousness for many centuries. Those who still consciously embrace these dense and false energies are feeling emboldened to act out as they experience the presence of energies now surfacing in order to clear. Many are experiencing a sense of panic as they observe the world's chaos. Because there is only one, many will feel it even if they are not prone to emotions like panic. If or when you experience fear, anxiety, or panic that seems to come out of nowhere, remember that it is never yours unless you claim it as being yours. The only reality that is permanently yours is the fullness of divine source consciousness. Do not resist if you experience these types of negative emotions, but rather rest in the realization of your true being, knowing that God never formed itself as them. Be patient, dear ones, for the energy is quickly changing, even if it doesn't seem that way, and you will soon see results, not in their fullness, but through the collapse of many old structures and beliefs as increasingly more become fed up with the status quo. This of course will create conflict between those who stand to benefit from the status quo and those who see the need for change. The light will always win because it is the only reality, making anything else simply a conceptual image in a three-dimensional mind. The human state of consciousness is conditioned to do because its sense of separation from good drives it to continually fix, heal, correct, invent, serve, etc. This has translated to spiritual living as well through the need of many for ceremonies, chants, rites and rituals, etc. You reading these messages have evolved beyond this state of consciousness and are ready to stop spiritually doing and be. Just be. The belief that spirituality is doing this or doing that is separation. Your work is to simply be the light in every moment, as you go to work, as you do the dishes, as you live your ordinary lives. The higher frequencies of an evolved consciousness constitute a person's energy field, which automatically radiates outwardly wherever they go. Many feel it and may be attracted while others are repelled. How others react to your energy is not your problem, What matters is that you hold the light by being the light. This is how you are helping to lift the energy of a world that has for so long been stuck in the density and pain of believing itself to be separate from God and all others. The 4th of July is USA holiday that celebrates the people of the USA declaring their independence from the oppression of another country. Make this idea personally yours, not as freedom from a country, but rather freedom from the false beliefs that have held you in bondage for so long. This is what the evolutionary shift is offering personally and globally to those who will accept it. Freedom from the oppression of others having power over you. Freedom from the belief that you are just a human body subject to everything ever dreamed up in minds ignorant of truth. Never doubt that you are divine beings who chose to live in the lower resonating energies of a three-dimensional planet in order to spiritually grow and help others do the same. Allowing us the ability to stand back and observe the ever-changing show while fully aware of reality. Allowing means trusting that your higher self knows what you need even if or when your life experiences do not seem to meet human standards. Allowing means trusting that the evolutionary process is unfolding both personally and globally without the need for you to personally fix, heal, or change it. Spiritual evolution is inevitable and cannot be stopped because it is the reality. How quickly it takes place is up to the people of Earth. The three-dimensional world is giving birth, and as with all births, it can be painful and messy, but your job as awakened souls is to know that this birth actually took place in the beginning, and what seems to be the birth of a new world is simply a remembering. Earth, the people on her, and all other planets, have never been less than the pure expression of divine consciousness. Everything must eventually manifest love, peace and harmony because in reality these things already are and always have been. The world and all life in it is already perfect and whole, because expressions of divine consciousness are held permanently in place by divine law. God expressing itself as can never be otherwise regardless of how many illusory perceptions are formed in sleeping human minds. Humans who have forgotten who they are beginning to remember. Everything that is less than loving is being increasingly recognized as such, and everyone is seeing the same thing because there is only one. No one ever has been or could be separate from their true divine nature, which is creative. No one has ever lacked and no one has ever died. In third-dimensional energy, people see and experience duality and separation because as creators, they over time have ignorantly created and continue to create a world based in error. As many three-dimensional illusory structures begin to collapse, there will be pain and suffering for those who have based their entire lives illusion. You have done the work and are prepared to live beyond the illusions of sense. Know that we and all evolved beings on the other side are with you, cheering you on at all times. You knew it would not be easy when you volunteered, but you and your guidance knew you were capable of doing what you came to do. All is proceeding according to plan. The highest form of spirituality is to simply know, rest in, and be the light, which is consciousness of oneness. We are the Arcturian group.